Hello, this is a quick video, hopefully quick, about fingerpicking and trying to demystify any mystique that there is around, or confusion around fingerpicking, which is pretty damn simple, to be honest. We're going to do two patterns today, and we can write the patterns down or remember them by simply saying thumb 1, thumb 2. Here's our picking hand, my picking hand. Probably looks the same as your picking hand, and we can say thumb 1, thumb 2, and that's our initial pattern. Can be your go-to pattern. Obviously we can have any patterns that we make up, which no doubt everyone else is made up as well, so there isn't a massive amount of variation, but thumb 1, thumb 2 is a good place to start. Obviously we're using 4 plucks across 3 fingers, which is why we use our thumb twice. But that's very common in fingerpicking. Often the thumb will rotate between one string and another, because it's our strongest finger, and it's much easier to move around than our fingers, which pretty much all they do is go down and up. So we're going to use the middle 4 strings, but any 4 strings will do, and we're going to stick to 4 strings. So this is our really easy introduction to fingerpicking. We're going to put we're going to use the middle 4 strings. We're going to put our thumb on the A string, and all our thumb is going to pluck is the A string and the D string. The A and the D string. That's it. And all our first finger is going to pluck is the G string, and all our second finger is going to pluck is the B string. So they all have their own they all have their own strings, and the thumb has 2 strings. So let's simply follow that pattern with open strings. Fine. Thumb 1, thumb 2. That's it, that's our pattern. We can practice it as simple as that. Thumb 1, thumb 2. Now that's an even number, so it will fit perfectly in a bar of 2 or a bar of 4. Most of the time, finger pickers will do an even pick, an even number of picks in a bar of 2 or 4, for obvious reasons. When it comes to compound time, or 6/8 time, or 3/4, etc., we will need to do different variations. We can still use thumb and the first 2 fingers, but we'll need to fit it into 3 or 6 beats. But this will fit perfectly into 2 or 4 beats. So if we're counting, we can count 1 and 2 and, if that's the way you want to count, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, or we can count a fast 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, however you want to count. But this lesson is primarily about finger picking, the way we pick, not so much the way we count. Most of the time, our thumb on the A string will be on beat 1. So beat 1 of the bar. And that's our anchor. Every time we start the bar, or we start, if it's a 4/4 bar, we might be playing that pattern twice, but every time we start, let's assume we're starting the bar on the A string. Every time we hit that A string, that's beat 1, isn't it? So that's our anchor to keep us 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I count in 2, 1 and 2, on our thumb again, 1, 2, 1 and 2. So I'm counting that wrong, aren't I? 1, 1, 2. That's more like it. 1 and 2 and. So then we start the next bar on the 1. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. That's not affecting what I'm playing, but that might be an easier way if you count and make sure that your beat 1 is on your thumb. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 on the A, 1 on the A. And the 1 is wherever we start it, in the bar, wherever it happens to be, it's going to be on the downbeat. Suppose you could make a picking pattern to start on the offbeat, but it would be very unusual. Why not? Try it, but it doesn't. It's not included in this lesson, which is a simple lesson. Simple way of thinking, simple way of counting, simple way of plucking. Thumb 1, thumb 2. Remember that. Do it every day. You don't even need a guitar. Or you don't even need to pluck the guitar. You can hit the top. 1, thumb 2. If you can't do that, then keep practicing until you can, before you even need to touch the strings. But most of us will be able to do that initially, or at least with a little bit of practice. Not like weeks and weeks. And then that's all we do on the strings. Thumb. Now when you're practicing that, try to vary the intensity of the way you pluck. So maybe pluck that A string a little bit heavier. Or at least be aware that you can pluck heavier. You can pluck the whole thing lighter. And you can pluck the whole thing heavier. Now I've got my the wrist, or really just the palm, about there, is on the bridge of my guitar. That's mainly because my strings are quite a long way on this jazz guitar from the body. On an acoustic guitar, you might be able to touch the body with your little finger much easier than I can. But on this guitar, it's easy for me to anchor my hand a little bit on the bridge. Another way I recommend practicing is muting the strings, so that we can just hear the muted strings. No ringing on, we can really hear whether our timing is good or not. So we should be able to do that with a metronome, and it should sound really, well, obviously depending on how good you are. If you're good, it should sound really tight, like a fast ticking clock. Trust your ears. If it doesn't sound mechanical, you need to practice more. Well, we always need to practice more, but you know what I mean. It needs to sound very mechanical. I can't really do that badly, really, but I'm so used to doing it. Thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 1, thumb 2. Do that. Good thing about this, don't make any noise, don't disturb anyone. And it's nice to hear that really crisp rhythm against the metronome. Let's add a chord. Okay, we're going to add 2 chords. A minor to C. Okay? It's not so much the pattern that matters in the context of a song. The chord is much more important. So I can change the pattern that I'm picking. It's not going to change the harmony. It's not going to change the sound of the chord. It will just be a slightly what's the word? It's just a stylistic difference, that's all. If I do that, if I do another pattern, it's not really a different thing at all. Very subtle. There's too much onus put on what pattern I should play. There's no should. There's no should play. If you like the sound of it, then it's good. If it's in time, it's good. There's no should when it comes to finger picking patterns. There are very few finger picking patterns on records that are really important, because most of the time it's a matter of taste, whether you like it. Even a song with a distinctive finger picking pattern, you can do another finger picking pattern. It doesn't affect the song, doesn't affect the harmony, doesn't affect the melody. It's purely a stylistic thing. So there's a limit of the damage you can do if you do the wrong finger picking pattern with a song. It's really not that important, but it is important that you play well. It's important that you can do this in time. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And then we're going to change chords. On the bar, 1. So we're going to count to 4, slow 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So obviously I've changed on the beat and I've changed on the 1, depending on how fast you are counting or whether you're counting in 2 or 4. So we're changing after 1 bar back to the A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. And then back to the C. What is very commonly done with finger picking is chords are subtly changed, one note taken out, one note added, on the strings that we're playing, just to give it a bit more sonic, a bit more harmonic variation, because that's going to be more important than the particular pattern we do. And everyone's done this pretty much over open chords, because there aren't that many open chords and there aren't that many variations. So we take our first finger off, we've got A sus2. First finger off, fourth finger down, back to A minor. I slightly changed the pattern there. First finger off, fourth finger down, back to A minor. So that's A minor, sus2, or the third dropped out and the second played. And then the fourth played, so that's A sus, then A minor. Then with the C, a very common one is to play C, sus2. I have a habit of changing the patterns because I always change the patterns when I play, just to add variation. I am trying to keep that pattern the same, believe me. I'm trying to go thumb 1, thumb 2 all the time, but it sort of changes on its own sometimes. Anyway, I'll try to do it. Second finger off, that's C, sus2. Sus2 is very common. There's no third in that chord. Back to C. Then a C sus4. Get my fourth finger on the D string. And then back to C. So these little variations. First finger off. That's the C major 7. Fourth finger on the B string. C. Add 2 or add 9. I wouldn't really call that a sus because we're still playing the third, but naming chords is not an exact science. When you're practicing along to a metronome, it's not going to change tempo, is it? Until we discover smart metronomes, that's the future, isn't it? Maybe they exist already. But practice at different speeds. So a couple of minutes at one speed, then speed up your metronome and see if you can do it at another speed. All this lesson is really for is to get you to do this a lot. You just have to do that a lot, preferably on a guitar. But even that is good. You've got to train your muscle memory, for want of a better phrase, to do that without thinking, because it's only when you can do it in your sleep that it's going to start to sound really good, because then you'll be able to control it. You can think of other things without having to really think about the finger picking. you can play with it as well. Slow down. Play harder. See, I changed the pattern, didn't I? Thumb 1, thumb 2. G major chord. I'm only using the middle 4 strings, so I don't even need to touch the E strings. F major chord. Again, just the middle 4 strings. I don't even use a bar, could use a bar, but it makes no difference if you're not plucking the outside strings to what I was doing there. That's like a unbarred, like an F major 7 chord. But I'm not plucking the top outside strings anyway. Back to A minor. Then to E major. Or E7. Again, just the middle 4 strings. Back to A minor. As I said before, the important thing when you're playing a song is the chords, harmony, melody, etc. Who's singing it? Stuff like that, you know, whether there's a free bar. These are important things when you're performing a song live. The finger picking is not that important. So if you can do any finger picking pattern confidently and in time, it's going to be good. That's what we call good. Don't worry about whether it's not exactly the part on the record. Because who cares? Yep, you can work out different finger picking patterns for different recordings that you listen to and you want to duplicate exactly, fine. But that's not really what this lesson is about. This is about how to start finger picking right from square one. And once you've mastered that, thumb 1, thumb 2, you can then branch out and do different patterns. And once you're very good at that, it doesn't take much to change the pattern because the thought process is the same. That's a different pattern. That's a different pattern. That's a different pattern. These are different patterns. Just variations. Simple. I've never had a fingerpicking book. You can just make variations up. We don't have that many. With 3 fingers, we don't have that many combinations, do we? We don't have that many combinations. So whatever we do with it, as long as it's in time and we can do it instinctively, then we can change the harmony, we can change other things without having put any thought process into this at all. Yeah. So if I'm just improvising with chords, I can move around, I can think what I'm doing next, chord-wise. Without having to worry about what my picking hand does, because I've practiced with my picking hand until I can talk and do videos without worrying about my picking hand. As a matter of fact, getting it not to change is hard for me. Again, same pattern, all this is the same pattern. Thumb 1, thumb 2. we're back to our thumb 1, thumb 2. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it thumb 1, thumb 2. The more patterns you've got, the more you can just variate it. You can variate it without even thinking, which is good. But we want to know where we started. Where do you come from? This is where I come from. Thumb first and second, and that's where everyone else comes from as well. I don't think people start finger picking with their thumb and their third and their fourth. As a matter of fact, most people never use their fourth with finger picking. Most people don't even use their third with finger picking, although it's more common than the fourth. The fourth is like, whoa, very uncommon. Like really nice weather in England. The third is a bit more common, but by far the most common is thumb 1 and 2 for obvious reasons. We can control 1 and 2 better. It's closer to our thumb. We're more used to using 1 and 2. And when we write patterns down, we've only got to write T for thumb, 1 and 2 on our finger picking little black book that we should add to every day with our little patterns in. So today the pattern, as said, is thumb 1, thumb 2. If we worked out more patterns, we would then practice them. But I wouldn't worry about patterns at the moment, other than this initial one, because if you can play this well, people will be impressed by your playing. They're not going to think, "Oh, that was great, but I wish he'd have put in like another pattern with his picking hand." It would have helped those chords and stuff. No, play this simple pattern well, and you'll always impress people. I mean, it helps if you're playing a song that they like as well. But there you go. Okay. That wasn't very short, but it could have been longer. Bye-bye.